When I think about the largest frame of love, a childhood memory springs to mind. I remember sitting in the choir loft in church and singing the response, "God is love, and all who live in love live in God." This phrase blossomed in my mind as a young person, influencing both my ideas about God as well as my opinions on love. I experienced agape, divine love, right alongside the other types of relational connection during those very formative years. In this message, all who live in love live in God, I heard the message of greater inclusion than only those who had accepted some very specific terms of salvation. I also heard an instruction for living. All who live in love live in God. My early life Catholicism gave me a second gift in terms of love as well. This was the prayer of St. Francis. Any time my life felt empty, directionless, and loveless, I would find myself in those words. Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. Those words led me back time and again into the continuum of giving and receiving. If there wasn't enough love in my world, I could put it out there, and in reaching out, I would find it returned to me. The one part of this equation that was missing, which I had to learn in adulthood, was that love really needs a reciprocal balance to thrive. I've learned that self-erasure is not particularly effective as a way to better the world. To really love the world, I need to include myself in that embrace. I've discovered that I can seek to console over being consoled, and still recognize that my own need for consolation is valid and deserves to be met. By becoming my own best teammate, I'm able to put the power of boundaries as the foundation beneath my love. So, how do I approach the enormous question of love in my life? With those three lessons: to live in love in order to live in God, to receive love, we must give it, and to give love healthily, honestly, and open-heartedly, don't forget to include yourself. That's all easy to say, but often difficult to do. This week I found truth in these words by Oscar Wilde. It takes a great deal of courage to see the world in all its tainted glory and still to love it. May we all be granted that courage, today and every day.
Walk into the fog and hold my hand. The mist shrouds quiet places only we know. Somewhere out of reach of time's cruel hand, there are places in our hearts where only love shows. Darkness seems to comfort me. Daylight often preys on your mind. Alone together we might see. Where's the love we're hoping to find? Rambling in the moonlight, fog enclosed, footsteps matching heartbeats, time going slow. In confidential whispers, our questions posed. For even in the fog, you see people you know.
Any of you who have received an email from me have probably seen my signature line, "Living into Love." This was first thought up by me back in seminary when I was looking for a way to imagine my role as a newly minted minister. I wanted something that represented my core theology that I have built up over the years on my Christian upbringing, as well as my love for the Kabbalistic teachings of Rabbi David Cooper. I love the verb to live, and keeping it in the present participle form, living, is an intentional recognition that my connection and manifestation of love is a constant and ongoing process. Part of Rabbi Cooper's instruction includes finding a way through intentional thoughts, prayers, and meditations to stay in the now. It's a process known in Kabbalah as kavanah. Kavanah is more intense than just concentration. It is an embodiment of prayer that is felt with one's whole being, heart, mind, and body. It's akin to the Buddhist concept of open awareness, which is also achieved through mindfulness meditation practice. With each email I send, my heart and mind are gently reminded of my agreement with the divine to serve and love the greater world. I am reminded that it is an ongoing process, mixed with wonderful successes and incredible failures. As a Unitarian Universalist, this kind of reminder to be in the now and actively living into love honors our first and seventh principles by reminding me that my own sense of individualism, my inherent worth and dignity, is important, but it's only as important as me entering into a holy dance with one or more other people who are also in the act of living. Only then can we actually co-create love in time and in space. It's an intentional and present act, one that is constantly being offered, accepted, and rejected. A true dance. It is a reminder of the fragile nature of human relationships and the power of being in covenant with one another. It is my hope that we all learn better how to continue living into love.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yedadai, yedadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yedadai, yedadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yedadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yedadai, yedadai. I will build this world with